Welcome. Today we're coming to you from Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. Comerica Center serves as the practice facility for the Dallas Stars. Our session today will focus on leadership. We're very pleased to have Dallas Stars Vice President of Strategy and Community Growth, Al Montoya, who incidentally is the NHL's first Cuban-American hockey player, as well as Patrick Walsh, former U.S. Admiral and current president of Cristo in Dallas.
Welcome to At the Forefront, where we explore the groundbreaking innovations and developments shaping the future of aging. We're hitting the road to showcase how older adults are embracing change, staying active, and thriving in their golden years. Here's your host, CEO of Forefront Living, Tim Mallett.
Al, I'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm Al Montoya, first and foremost born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I have three brothers raised by my mother, Dr. Irene Silva. Went to the University of Michigan, played professional hockey, got drafted in professional hockey, spent 15 years playing professional hockey. And today I am a VP at the Dallas Stars, growing the game of hockey and introducing the people and bringing them in and growing the game.
Very good. Pat.
Thanks, Tim. Pat Walsh. I'm here from Dallas, grew up on Walnut Hill Lane, and oldest of six. My father worked at a high school, and the school that he worked at was a school that I couldn't afford to go to because he was on a high school teacher's salary. Because the school had incentives for faculty members to bring their own kids to school for free, I was able to get to Jesuit College Prep. And from Jesuit, was able to compete for an appointment to Annapolis. Ended up with a career in naval aviation that lasted 35 years and 3 graduate degrees, all of that made possible by people I don't know. I come to Forefront Living actually through my wife, who was recognized at an Each Moment Matters event in 2017. And it took me this long in order to get in front of the audience.
But you also then were an honoree.
And I thank you for that. It's a wonderful program, great event. It's an opportunity to meet some amazing people in the community who are quietly working behind the scenes to make things better for their fellow man.
And Al, I believe you were on the same path with us. You were an honoree?
Yes, I was an honoree, recommended by a friend, Michelle Bobadilla, who has done amazing work here in the city of Dallas for a long, long time. And today I am a part of the foundation, very excited to be a part of it. I identify with a lot of the things that we do.
Yeah, so you've been a Forefront Living Foundation board member. You're going to your second year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So if anybody who is watching is interested in our advisory council or our Each Moment Matters luncheon, it definitely is a path for a deeper invitation into the organization. Pat, you talked a little bit about your journey. Talk to us about your inspiration and leadership and what inspired you to be a leader.
Yeah, really easy question because it turned out to be my father. So Dad was a basketball coach, athletic director, and eventually started a foundation at the school. He modeled and exemplified everything that I learned would fall under the category and definition of leadership. There's a selfless quality about it, the ability to stand alone when he had to, make decisions by building consensus, but at the same time owning the outcome of those decisions. All of those attributes and qualities turned out to be a model that begins with athleticism and sportsmanship in my family. When I was in school, admirals were really interesting to study, but coaches were gods. And so being around coaches to me was a way to learn leadership firsthand and see it in application and operation.
Al, we had an interesting chat just before we began filming, and we were talking a little bit about your background, and I noted that you were the first Cuban-American NHL hockey player, but you said you were the first Spanish-speaking NHL hockey player. Talk to us about that journey and inspiration and how that was to be the first.
Yeah, not too much different than Pat's story. The setting's a little different. Raised by my mother, who came to this country as a refugee in 1963 as a young girl from Cuba with my grandparents, and I think I learned that leadership qualities through her every single day. Right, I was one of four boys. My mother worked in the city of Chicago. She was a doctor. I think at 11 she got to the U.S. At 17 she put herself through high school. At 20 she was done with college and then went to medical school. The things I got to witness throughout the way, her leadership qualities, her hard work, the multiple hats that she wore, being a single parent, raising boys, never looking for recognition, never looking for a title. It was the sacrifices that she made and the work that she put in every single day. And whether it was being there for me and letting me speak to her about my problems, or wearing the hat of a dad and coming to my hockey games and throwing the ball with me, it was those qualities that I learned through my mom that I think that I know are still with me, and that culture that I grew up with. I'm so proud of my Cuban heritage. We talk about how communism tried to take it away, but these traditions that we grew up with, I feel my grandparents and my mother along with me, my roots with me everywhere I go.
It's wonderful. Both of you, as you look at your journeys and you look at leaders and you look at critical qualities, what are you think the most important or the most critical qualities a leader can have or should have?
Sure.
I mean, you're on.
Yeah, let's keep going here. Gosh, you look at critical qualities, and I as a hockey player, I put myself in the locker room. That's where I started. That's where I learned how to really grow into myself. And can I tell you a story?
You can tell me a story.
Gosh,
tell us all a story.
Let's tell everybody a story. The qualities I love: empathy, humility. Huge. There was probably at the later end of my career, I was in a game playing in Columbus, and things weren't going well. I say that lightly. I'm a goalie, so a 3-4 goal night is not a good night. I let in 10 goals that night. Yes, as you can hear from the crowd in the back, not great. So what do you do? Like, these qualities that you need from teammates, these qualities that you need from those quiet heroes or those quiet leaders. Sometimes I played with Hall of Famers, I played with journeymen, and it's sometimes that person that needs to just pick you up, hold you accountable, but at the same time, be there for you. And not many people in this room might know him, but his name's Carey Price. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He was my goalie, my counterpart when I played in Montreal. And Carey wasn't going to go in that night because he was an all-star goalie and they didn't want him to get hurt. And a month down the road, we're playing in Minnesota, and Carey is led in 7 goals, which is unheard of for a Hall of Fame goalie, which is unheard of really in hockey. So he lets in 7 goals after the second period. Coach comes in front of me and goes, "Hey, Carey, Al's going to go in tonight. He's going to finish off the game." And Carey goes, "No, he's not. I'm not. I'm taking this one." And to me, that's a leader right there, right? He didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to do anything, but he was in the trenches with me. And examples like that have really shaped who I am today.
Pat, same question.
So I flew with the Blue Angels for 3 years. And I think the cool part about the leadership conversation is it's one thing to recognize what the qualities are for you to achieve that role and to have that level of influence on other people, but to be able to extend that mindset, that way of thinking, with all the qualities that Al just described now, and put it at a team level, and to be able to sustain that. That is really impressive. So the Blue Angel story, starts in 1946. It's a name that actually comes from a bar. Okay, so I mean, it's naval aviation, so you just follow me here. Yeah. Guys go to a bar, they go, "Hey, that would be a cool name." Okay, so that's how it's born. And this is coming out of World War II, where naval aviation turned the tide in the Pacific. Chester Nimitz is the chief of naval operations. He sees the value of the contribution that naval aviation made. It gets instantiated in something that continues today. When the team comes together, it's 6 people that fly. 3 out of the 6 are brand new every year. So the story here is not only getting an individual to a point where they can perform at that level, but then being able to do it as a team of 6. So the biggest compliment the team can get is, hey, that looks the same as last year. The people that are doing the work realize just, it's 150 flights of training before they can get to a point where they're this far apart, 24 to 36 inches, about 150 feet off the ground. In order to be able to do that, the chemistry in terms of leadership that's required is the ability to be very candid, very direct, very honest, be mindful of an audience, of who you're talking to. And the goal here is to be able to pass what's in the mind of one person into the mind of another person using words. It's a 3-dimensional problem. And you can look at it in a way where you can be very critical of the people that you're teaching and coaching and mentoring, or you can realize, I haven't figured out the right formula of how to convey this message to the person that's working for me. And the secret sauce that makes this all work is the ability to debrief afterwards. In other words, to be able to kind of replay, here's what we did, here are the mistakes that we made, and because we film everything, now we're going to look at the decisions that were made each step along the way and determine whether or not we could have done something better next time. So we focus on the small things so that we don't have big things to worry about.
Excellent answer. I'm going to set us up for our next segment. Both of you are actively involved in giving back, and shortly we'll talk more about that. But I can't help but think, for those of you that are listening or watching, I'm hearing sounds of children playing hockey, and I know both of you have an impact really on our future leaders and developing them for tomorrow. And how do you instill the qualities of trust, innovation, and being a good teammate in our future leaders? That'll be my last question for this segment.
Yeah, I look at what I do today. I look at how I got here. Today as an executive of the Dallas Stars, using sport as that catalyst, using sport as a chance to give back and open doors. A few years ago, we launched an initiative within the city of Dallas called Future Stars, and it takes me back to when I was a kid. Right, I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household. I didn't know what the heck hockey was, but I knew what sports did for me. Right, I knew when I got on that field in 2nd grade, my teacher, I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm in the back of the classroom and my mom's in the front at parent-teacher conference. Dr. Silva, I'm really concerned about Alvaro. What are you concerned about? He doesn't speak. She goes, what do you mean he doesn't speak? He speaks 2 languages. You should see him on the pitch. You should see him on the hockey at the rink. So using sport through these initiatives, to allow kids to break down barriers where they're being taught, whether they know it or not, teamwork, discipline, responsibility, and they're working together and growing. And these are our future leaders of tomorrow, right? And sport is such a great tool. So the altruistic Al, the Al that loves to give back, that understands how he got to where he is today, that's the way we go. We navigate through sport, and it opens doors, and that's what we're here to do.
Well, and Pat, you're sending teenagers out into the world to work and get real life experience. How are you preparing them for that?
So ours is a school of 495 students with 100 on a wait list in the poorest zip code in Dallas, where less than half the population in that zip code has a high school diploma. The median income, $33,000, average home value, $75,000. And yet what we are finding is that we are mining gold right there because of the intellectual wealth that's just sitting there right in front of us. And what we're finding is that, and if we'll continue the sports analogy, all of us have been around scholarship athletes, guys big and strong like Al, that can do all kinds of things on the ice. You don't have to worry about them because they're going to land on their feet somewhere. The walk-on is the athlete that knows exactly what he doesn't have and completely undeterred, just wants to be on the team, just wants to be part of the mission. That's a story about grit and determination. We are the walk-ons of Pleasant Grove.
And we're all here to give everyone a chance. So I thank you both for joining us for this segment of At the Forefront. I invite everyone back to join us for our next segment where we're going to talk about giving back. Thank you. Thank you for joining us at Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again at the Forefront.